All right, a lot of you guys have been asking requests about me just doing a full-on workout. I know I did some past workouts where kind of sped up. A lot of you guys want to see kind of a full week what I would do, or just kind of doing a follow-along type of workout. And so I'm going to start with today being Wednesday. I'm going to utilize for the next few workouts, but I'll just use the Total Gym / kind of Ultimate Weider Works depending on what you have. And today's workout, I'm going to utilize a bench too, but today being Wednesday, I'm going to focus on kind of a cardio-based workout. Someone asked me that question too, could you do cardio type stuff with this, with higher reps? You definitely could. I traditionally wouldn't think of it as like a cardio workout based on the past stuff that I've done. I'm going to use this machine in some bodyweight stuff and the bench a little bit too, only because I'm kind of mindful of the fact, regardless of what model, Total Gym or this that you have, there's a lot of moving parts and these things do kind of wear out, especially the rollers and things. So I just don't want to overuse them too much. So if I did a full 30 plus minutes of just high repetition stuff, which you kind of could do and I've kind of done in the past, I just don't want to burn it out. Same thing with like jumping and stepping on this sled. I just don't want to risk it if I don't necessarily have to kind of overburden the machine too much with use. One thing I'm going to utilize too in here are the bungee cables with the Ultimate Weider Works. Total gyms don't have that. You guys could weight it with some weights, put some straps on there, some elastic straps, and strap to the bottom so you can get the same effect. But I'm going to do that so that exercises I'm going to do, they're kind of quicker. I like the bungee to kind of pull me back just as fast, okay? I normally wouldn't do workouts kind of like this that are kind of really high intensity. Sometimes in the past I kind of do, just recently I have been doing them. I kind of like just for cardio, a lot of different other things I could talk about, but more or less the airdyne, doing yard work, things like that, or even like my little switch punching game, whatever. You will need a bench. If I didn't say that, you're gonna need a bench. If you don't have a bench for this workout, definitely buy a bench at some point. I put a link down below for a good bench you could find. But otherwise you can use a chair or something very sturdy to kind of step on. If you have none of those things, some of the things as far as stepping on this thing that I'll do, you can just do some high knees or something like that. I'll be mindful of the fact that I won't do anything too crazy. I'll try and think of kind of all abilities a little bit as I'm doing this. But like I said, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try and keep some structure in my head a little bit. I'll try and think of doubles, maybe triples, as I'm doing this, as far as kind of going with maybe sets of 2 or 3 with 3 exercises in a superset. So that's basically it. If you guys want to see, tell me what you guys want to see. Let me know down below or whatever. But definitely tomorrow I'll do upper body with this, and then Friday I'll do a lower body workout with this too. I don't know what the time limit's going to be, but this is definitely around 20 minutes because it's going to be something I don't want to do that much of, to be honest with you. So we'll see how I do and how I fare from kind of jumping into this. I'm not doing it in a long time. You guys will see this. Again, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over here, hit the start of my own little music that I'm going to listen to. And like I said, I'll shoot for around 20 minutes, give or take, all right? All right, I'm not going to talk over this too much, but I'll kind of fill in some important points in each sequence. This first sequence, so first you're seeing me just warm up, probably the quickest warm up ever, but I'm just going to just warm up into this. As I'm doing this, I'm kind of thinking about honestly what the next exercises are going to be, because I have no idea what I'm doing at this point. But I'm picking 3 exercises, 3 or 4, as you'll see, because some are kind of mixed in there. And I'm trying to make it so that they are hitting a little bit different body parts and areas to kind of give the certain areas a rest. I don't really mess with that Total Gym setting. You'll notice that in this sequence, I think in maybe the second set, because I do 3 sets. In the second set, I kind of switched the order around just because I mixed it up in my head, but it really doesn't matter so much on the order, just as long as you kind of throw these exercises in here. You can see here I'm doing some modified burpees, not really even a burpee, I'm just kind of showing an just variation. You can kick the legs out. Some people have a hard time kind of kicking the legs out. And then you'll see me doing some step ups here, which is one of my favorite kind of tried and true little cardio things to kind of do as like an interval, where I just simply kind of do some I call them essentially, I did a whole video on this, but just basically doing a stair climber with the bench. I think you can do this. I could do that for 20 minutes just doing that. And then this one, just some pullovers, really just very, very easy. You're gonna get the bungees on there, so it's making it easier. And then I'm gonna go into just some little rows. Notice I'm kind of pointing the shoulders down too. I'm not thinking about really the form too much. It's just really feeling. So I'm just kind of going through the motions, but again, it feels fine. Then after this, I'm gonna do some rows. All these I try and keep I'm thinking of 20 in my head. So with all these exercises, reps, and sets, I'm trying to think of essentially sets of 3 and about 20 reps. Now, some of these, if you're actually counting, I might be short 1 or 2. I think at the very end, there's something that's kind of a little more difficult that I kind of stopped short on. But that's it for the sequence.
And this is that mountain climber one. I was kind of, not mountain climber, but kind of stair climber one I'm talking about. And I'm just thinking, I'm just counting, I'm starting, or in this case, I'm jumping up with my right leg, and I'm gonna do 20 with kind of stepping up with that right leg and that right leg going down. I'll do 20 with that leg, and then I'll switch and do 20 with the left leg. Okay, and this is just pretty easy, just kind of very easy little squats, give myself a little bit of a break, but still, you know, fine. I'm not focusing too much on form. I know I said this in another video when I talked about leg exercises, but I kind of keep my heels at the top of that squat bar, a little squat stand, just so my knees don't kind of go over my ankles too much. But not thinking about really form too much, just again, thinking about 20, going through the motions. Again, the bungees around there to help me kind of fly down a little bit faster, and it adds a little bit of resistance. All right, and this one starts the next sequence of exercise. Just kind of push this out a little bit, kind of like a little mini ab exercise. Again, I'm not thinking about really trying to do abs. I'm just trying to think of a different movement that just kind of keeps me moving, gives other body parts a rest, and just, I guess, works as something a little bit different. But again, I'm not too concerned about the abs, but I think you will feel this, especially if you're not used to kind of doing this one. And again, I got the bungee cables on there for a little bit of resistance. This one is just a little bit kind of a low, almost single leg, kind of like a pistol, kind of like a lunge basically, but I'm counting to 20 total, so I'm really doing 10 each leg, and this one's pretty taxing. The important thing with this one is keeping your full foot kind of flushed on the bench as much as possible, and that's really it with this one. This exercise is kind of like a jackknife that I'm going to set up and do. It would be nice if I could put my feet more, towards the end of that sled, so I can kind of get more of a range of motion. But if I start doing that, it actually, because the bungees are in there, it starts pushing the actual bench forward. So if I have my bench kind of locked against something, it'd be fine. But the important thing here is just really keeping your weight on top of that bench, especially if you're on carpet. If you're not in carpet, it probably won't be a problem. Otherwise, I would have pushed my feet up a little bit higher. I think later on you might see the bench move a little bit. That's why. Otherwise, kind of self-explanatory. And this one, also the bungees are in there, so it's not totally hard. If anything, you actually might even feel this on your glutes. In fact, you can concentrate on your glutes and hamstrings a little bit as you're pushing out with that resistance. This one, I kind of do like a little bit of a mini borderline plyometric push. We call it like a popping pull-up, if you want to call it that way. But this one's a little bit higher than I would have liked. You'll see in the next set, I actually lower this down so I get more of a pop, and I kind of pop up and then grab the other part of the handle. This is one that is just a little bit more resistance than I would have wanted for, like, you want to call it like a cardio kind of fast-moving exercise. You could keep it if you wanted to at this height, but I lowered just to kind of keep it a little more dynamic and to add more repetitions.
that was about, I didn't time it exactly. I think that was a little more than 20 minutes, close to 20 minutes. First of all, thank you guys, because I probably wouldn't have done that workout unless you guys asked me to. It's been a while since I've done something like that. You can tell from the last video, I'm a little more sweaty than the ones you kind of sped up there, just kind of resistance training. What goes without saying, just because you're sweating more doesn't mean you had a better workout. It's always about finding that right stimulus. I think this was about perfect for me. You guys can try it yourself, be the judge if it was too easy or too hard. I tried to balance it out a little bit. I'll have some commentary in the video. You guys will probably have seen this by now. If you guys want to see more like this, definitely let me know. Tomorrow I'll post a upper body workout. You guys might have saw that was a little bit of everything. And even though I did some upper body stuff, at least for me personally, I can't guarantee it for you guys and your level. But I know that tomorrow, that stuff's not really going to affect me tomorrow when I kind of really focus on upper body, just because of the lightness of weight and things like that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to see more of this, let me know. Said tomorrow I'll do upper body. The next day, Friday, I'll post a lower body exercise. All right, thanks again. Always, there's links down below for this equipment if you guys have any questions about that, or email information. Always helpful if you guys like and subscribe to the channel. I'll post a lot more of these if you guys want to see these. Thanks.